Hello YouTube and welcome to the channel. I am Dave and this is Mox Emerald Games, the Irish MTG channel, and we're going to be jumping straight into Zendikar Rising for the first time. Brand new standard format. Bunch of old stuff rotated out, and man, that last standard seemed like it lasted forever because of a bunch of just, I hate to say it, but toxic cards are in the format, multiple bans, and this feels fresh and nice, and I get to go into it because I have an early access count from Wizards, and I'd like to thank them a lot for that. It'll let me get a bunch of different decks out this week on the channel that I wouldn't have otherwise, because I think this set's kind of powerful, and I think I'd need a lot of rare and mythic wild cards to play all the cards decks I wanted to. The first deck I have for you today is You Must Kick It, blue black, kicker, mid range / control, and it's a deck based around Roost of Drakes and the card advantage and win conditions you can get off this card. It's a 1 mana enchantment. Whenever you cast a kicked spell, create a 2/2 Drake. And if you kick it for 2 and a blue, you also get a Drake. So the rest of the deck is kind of framed around this. And I won't say exactly self-explanatory, but pretty self-explanatory. We get some great kicker cards in Thirst, Into the Royal, and Jace. And what I love about these cards and why I like the deck is these are just cards I think are good in standard anyway. These are just good playable cards, along with Seagate Stormcaller, which has looked fantastic anytime I've seen it so far. Chronicler holds the deck together, being able to play so many kicker spells, including my win condition itself being a kicker spell. Corhelm Chronicler is a fantastic card selection engine. And even if you miss, it plays a kind of role of an Augur or Bolus in this deck, but even if you miss, it still has a relevant effect that continues to affect the game. Besides that, a lot of the other cards in the deck are a bit mundane. We have some good removal, some good kicker spells. We're playing some of the lands, which have been a little bit hard to get used to on early access. We're playing Throne of McKindy, which helps us accelerate the mana a little bit to kick some Seagate Stormcallers in the late game, or lets us kind of skip our turn 3 and play one of our kicked 4 mana spells on turn 3, or maybe a Jace on turn 4. Besides that, Shark Typhoon, obviously just one of the best cards from last standard. I think it carries over into a lot of these blue decks. It maybe not that effective here because I'm not holding up mana that often. I think a lot of my cards are sorcery speed, so maybe this doesn't actually make the cut. It's very, it does feel very place fillery at the moment. It's just, a fantastic card, so it's hard to keep out of your blue decks. And Duress needs a little bit of explaining. Duress is here because of the flip lands. So Duress is sometimes good enough by itself in main decks. We don't know in the format yet. We don't know how spell heavy it's going to be. But with the flip lands, Duress can just make your opponent miss their first or second land drop. It's a Thoughtseize that can now take lands. And I think that's going to mean Duress as a 4-of is going to be in a lot of main decks. But let's stop talking about it and let's jump straight into the action. Save the changes and let's kick off, no pun intended, our Zendikar Rising season. Okay, nice opening hand. Little mana heavy, but we have a turn 3, possibly Jumbo Duress if we played a Mauling, and we have a Temple to scry some lands on the top of our deck to the bottom if they're there. Ooh, Chronicler makes this hand a lot better. And we get the Drakes on top. We're definitely playing a Mauling tap next turn. And then we're possibly just Duressing opponent to try and make the way clear for what we're trying to do here. Yeah, I'm fine firing off with Duress here. We want a Chronicler into Rooster Drakes. Ooh, playing against Rogues. But they don't have anything but black mana at the moment. That's good news because if they had some counter spells, if they had blue mana and counter spells, we wouldn't be in a fantastic spot with our hand. I think I still want a Chronicler here. I could stop to kill this if I wanted. Don't really want to Duress because there's a chance I just hit nothing. I want to save Duress for turn. I definitely want to resolve something and have spare mana. I could grab Inscription and we could Inscription this next turn, but I think I kind of like... Do I like Duress Inscription next turn? It does seem fine. And I don't want to just die to beat down in the air here. I think I have the long game. So I kind of like that. So let's just take the inscription. I know they're a while away for Brazen Borrower. I'm just trying to map out what is the most likely way that I lose next turn. I think the most likely way is either them protecting the Scavenger, which Duress lets me stop doing, or getting like some beatdown going here, maybe killing my Chronicler this turn, beating me for 4 or 5, and then getting a Brazen Borrower into play next turn or two. Seems like the most likely way. Now, if they tap out, I can also just spend a turn killing both their creatures in play and leaving them with only 2 cards again, which means I think the Haven's going to win long term. So kill the Nighthawk. Duress is piling up in my hand, not looking amazing. Though if we draw a black source next turn, we'll be happy to Duress before we try and land this this roost, which we did. Ooh, we catch. This is what I mean. These lands being spells is just fantastic for Duress, especially the mythic ones, which you're going to hold later into the game. So a Duress that's normally dead, maybe in a normal format, actually nabs a card there. Still need to draw something good. Opponent reading Roost of Drakes, of course. Again, it's a card that I hadn't seen kind of going into the format. Is this a rogue? No, but it is just a good removal spell. That's fair. Oh, no. So they can bounce this, attack me for 2. Don't know if they want to do that. Into the Royal would be sweet. Though this is the only thing I can read into the Royal, and it just has flash. That's not bad. Do I want to hold this to try and get the full value? Or do I just want to kill the thief, the Lord's creature now, and make a second blocker? I think I can wait. It's a little greedy. I'm going to take some damage. But I think I can wait. I'm going to bounce this. I'm going to take 3. And then I'm giving myself a chance to draw a land. Or a second roost. Either would be great. Okay, here's the land. Opponent can't do much about that. They do have a castle out. Definitely want to kill this. I think I want to kill this because it's just harder for my drakes to block. Of course, the spell is a copy, so I don't get 2 drakes out of it. They do get a Brazen Borrower, but Brazen Borrower is just trading with one of my drakes. They have castles, so they're less likely to flood out here. Like, they're more likely to draw better than we are. It's harder to get the castles into decks now. Ooh, okay. Well, that's an insanely good draw. We're going to shortcut a bit here just so we can pass the turn without having to float. Now, any kicker spell we draw is just beyond insane. And we can do stuff like with Into the Royal, we can buy back our Stormcaller. Because even making a 7-mana Stormcaller and not copying anything but getting 2 drakes is insane. I think I can fire off a Duress into this. What else would they keep? Maybe a Brazen Borrower? And then they just let it happen? Yeah, okay. Just a Brazen Borrower. One more mana and we can draw 2 cards. Seagate, I'm not a big fan of this. Or draw a card. Jace would be another fantastic draw here. I don't think the Rogues deck has a fantastic way to take Roosts off the boards besides bouncing them with Brazen Borrower, and then they just let me recast them and get more 2/2s. It doesn't seem great. Yeah, opponent just keeping Brazen Borrower in their hand here as well, which probably seems correct. I have the board covered, so it's hard for them to get their big Haymaker into the play. Ooh, I forgot this hasn't rotated. This was 21. That's a pretty good rogue. They're just going to draw a card straight away. Possibly. It's just a counter. 7 mana, draw 1. I can just wait a turn or two with this, I guess. If I draw another land next turn. Or do I? Nah, I think I need to cycle it. Maybe that seems like it sucks, but if we draw one more cycle card, like every time we draw a cycle card, we're just running away with this. Temple's not great. But now we have no maximum hand size. Yeah, I'm not actually a fan of the spell Seagate Restoration makes in decks like this. And it's why I only have 3, because I feel like I'm just not going to draw more than 1 or 2 cards off it, and I don't know if that's worth it, even for its flexibility, because taking 3 is a real cost in a lot of these matchups. The black one might be better in this, in other decks, not this deck, and like opponent's deck and stuff. Okay, that doesn't change much besides the Pilferer is still going to pilfer if it wants. It's the exact wording. Comes untapped, you may pay 2 if you do draw a card. Whenever an opponent casts a spell from anywhere other than their hand, draw a card. Discard a card, it can't be blocked. Okay, so the opponent's considering whether they want to discard the second card for Pilferer. It's a 3-turn clock. So they've put me under some pressure here to find an answer to Pilferer. It's another reason why I should cycle there. Okay, so they want to play a Scavenger instead of do this. They might still discard Brazen Borrower to get in 3. They haven't. Can I get a Jace? Into the Royal. So I can into the Royal this. Draw a card and see if I want to make a play this turn. Or I can wait to see what opponent does with their turn. Like if they discard to this. Or I can double block here. I'd rather make some Drakes at instant speed, I think, and give them a chance to draw well here. If they make Pilferer unblockable and attack with a bunch of things, I can into the Royal and kind of blow them out. The only downside, I guess, is drawing something like the guy that gets permanents backs from my graveyard, though. It's not that many great permanents. Okay, so we have perfect info for this attack. Let's see if I can still mess it up. We could have also made the other play, like I said, bounce from our own Stormcaller. I don't think that was the move, though. If they do no attacks, which is a slight possibility, I will into the Royal my own Stormcaller at end of turn. And then if I draw a Thirst, I can kill multiple things. I can also just bounce this. Triple block here, see if opponent does something. Don't really want to take 3. Land is not where we want to be. No spell, but again, we are going to kick this. We could have possibly waited. I don't think we have really time, though. We're dead in 3 turns. We have to just try to amass as big of an army as we can to get in a counter attack. Plus, if we draw 1 removal spell for this Pilferer, it might just be good enough. So I don't think we have to wait for like additional removal spells. I just also get melt that. Nah, probably not a chance of that. Unfortunately, this card being so big is keeping us from like a meaningful counter attack at the moment. Oh no, that's a big one. Definitely didn't want to see that one. Now we're dead next turn. Don't think we have anything great to take, which is funny. We have a Roost. Or we have a Corum Helm Chronicler if they have kicker cards in their deck. But any body is fine. It's just the fact that we're going to 3, so we have 1 draw. I might as well put Roost in there. I'm going to pick Chronicler just for an extra attacking body, but I guess they know the way they're going to win is Pilferer next turn. Ooh. Interesting. This time I can't wait because if they draw a counter spell, I just die. I really wanted to bounce my own Roost, which is a big downside to doing this if I have Inter Royal in my deck. Another reason I don't like this blue mythic land in this deck, again I do like the card, is because of situations like this. I just don't want to hold my lands. I want to play Stormcallers and spells after Stormcallers, so I don't think I can reasonably hold my lands in my hand, which means I'm only ever going to get to draw like 1 card off it. L2. Sharky Boy. Pilfs. Now milling's becoming more realistic, down to 26 cards. Because I'm going to have to draw a bunch probably to win this game. So I still need to bounce Pilferer. Draw a card. Getting close to just presenting lethal with a removal spell. Probably should have actually done the mats there. So if we just kill this, we would have got 2 of these blocked and they would have taken 9, 18. So that isn't enough. Yeah. Let's draw some more cards. So we draw 2 this time. Divination. Would have taken less. They also have Brazen Borrow to bounce one of my guys, so it was safe that turn. Chronicler? I can't, so we'll just hold up Eliminate. Seems hard for me to lose from this position. Eventually I'm just going to get enough Drakes to swing in 1 win. How many cards have I gone through into the Royals? 3. Pilferer again. I think I just want to eliminate... Again, I could wait and like Stormcaller and eliminate this and this, or 2 flyers. That's still not lethal. 10, 1 block, 1 bounce. So I think I'm just going to eliminate the Pilferer at the end of turn, because there's going to be more cards I can Stormcaller. I'm wondering which one of our decks is better. I don't think both these decks will exist in a standard at the same time. And I love Rogues and I love Trickster, but I'm really liking the Roost of Drakes. I think it's hard to interact with. I think Ugin is one of the cards we're kind of scared of, I guess. And now with this land, if we hit another kicker spell, we can start looting away terrible cards. Ooh, another Roost. Okay. Okay. Well, the only way we're losing is getting milled, so we have to be a bit careful. We do have to know when to actually swing and finish this game. Or I could copy. Okay, so mill me for 2. Again, trying to be careful here. 15 left. Them being restricted on blue mana has been really punishing. They've never been able to hold up to full mode or Brazen Power, bounce plus flash. Attack. I don't think opponent has an attack here. I think they're just playing some flying blockers to stop me from winning. Chronicler. Do I want to draw 3 cards here? Got 11 cards. That's a mill 2. Don't know if I do. So let's just do this instead. Maybe this ends up drawing me more. No, this ends up drawing me a similar amount of cards. That was probably wrong. As I badmouthed this card, it kind of chained me into winning this game. I'm going to do Jace because I can just kick him straight away here. I can just scry. I don't have to draw with the Jaces. I can just do a bunch of scries. Yeah, let's ditch this. Let's ditch the land. It's not letting me scry with the Jaces. Huh. Is there something stopping it? Maybe I'm missing something, chat. That's unfortunate. I don't think it matters too much because I think anything I scry to the top is going to be milled, but that kind of sucks. I'll have to report that bug. But we're just looking to find like one more removal spell, remove a bunch of blockers here. Opponent reading the Jaces in case I messed them up here. They're bounce to copy. Good play. So they have 1, 2, 3, 4 flying blockers. I have to try and definitely remove the Nighthawk so they can't get enough life. I'm just attacking all out. Yeah, for a second I was afraid I didn't know how this card worked. So yeah, let's just make a bunch of blocks. Definitely getting rid of these guys. Huh, it's being really buggy, just not letting me block either. I had that game likely next turn. I could draw a bunch of cards. Maybe that's my connection, but my connection looks fine on everything else. We'll jump into another game. It might just be the server being a little bit buggy. We have valued the Rogues deck there pretty severely. To the point where we were scared of milling at the end of the game. But that was pretty sweet, and that showed kind of the power of the new Drake Haven. Let me know in the comments if you think there could have been a better line, maybe more aggressively killing the Nighthawk at one stage and going on a counterattack, but that seemed a little bit difficult to do. Okay, bit of a slow hand, but... Temple. Don't think I want to keep the Seagate. Ooh, Augur. Is this like the mono blue deck? An update on the mono blue deck would be sweet. There was like a combo deck that Autumn Lily played a bunch of in the last format. Kind of want to untap the land. Now I have to decide whether I want to Duress this turn. Yeah, I think I'll take an untapped land. I'll just Duress this turn. And I have options for next turn. Definitely taking this. Ooh, this card is very good in the mono blue deck, actually. Ooh, that's interesting. Could have taken this to hit their land drop as well. But I think this is just way too important if they draw well. Gonna bounce their own dude. Draw a card. Cool. Yeah, we'll take a Thirst, and then I think we'll just cast Roost, because we have enough kicker spells that we're probably going to go kicker spell into kicker spell to keep the Devotion off the field. I think we are going to have to kill this. Drake number 1. What did we have in the last game? Like 14 Drakes when the game ended? Top, bottom. Okay, so they're preparing. I played a little bit of this deck, but without the Lotus, it is hard to go off. So the Duress was pretty clutch. Into the Royal kind of not great against their deck, but I can Into the Royal my own Drake Haven, or I keep calling it Drake Haven, Roost of Drakes at end of turn as well. Just end the next turn, Into the Royal. I could have Into the Royal it there and just replayed it, but I like Into the Royal and play it again next turn. That means I might want to eliminate. Don't have to this turn unless they play Monitor, in which case I'll eliminate this in response. Oh, for some reason I thought this had hexproof. This doesn't have hexproof? Oh, I was thinking of the Lotus Field. Yeah, okay, I can just bounce this. That's silly. Okay, that was me being silly. I should have just kick bounced that for the turn. A little mistake with what the cards do. Apologies, guys. Should be swinging for a bit more damage this turn. Yeah, I should have just 2 turns in a row into the Royal Dot and not cared about their 2-2. But I can just cycle a Shark Typhoon end of this turn. And then next turn I can bounce this. Or I can bounce it now. Look for a Duress. I think I like cycle this first. Just wins the game a bit faster, doesn't give them infinite time to go off. They've already wasted a card or a Monitor, so it's not exactly like it's going to be fluidly going off. Now we're definitely doing it now. They've drawn like a negate out of their main deck. That's pretty annoying, but... Ooh, do I just want to cast this as an attacker? I don't think so. I want to save it for like if I draw a Duress next turn. Owl, okay. So needs blockers, can't just win next turn or is unlikely. Card Arm Monitor makes it more likely to just win next turn. So I just want to cycle this because I don't think I'm going to have time to play it for any amount to make a creature. There's a Duress. There's an Eliminate. So if I double Duress, it does nothing because they only have 1. But I can take this anyway, and they have nothing to spend their mana on. I can eliminate this. Attack with everything. They go to 4. So I want to do this first. If I draw it into the Royal, it's pretty big. I'll just Duress them. Kill this. And next turn I can kill 2 full creatures. So they have to scry in their upkeep. They can still get stuff to win the game here. They have like a bunch of scries in their upkeeps here because they have I guess the more they scry, the less mana they have. Gonna augur first, okay. They know I have a removal spell in my hand. So if they messed up here, I think they've messed up here. Or they're just not looking at my hand. So they had to do this in their upkeep, I think. Maybe they forgot to put the stop there. Yeah. Okay. So our Jurassic is coming in clutch there, but like we didn't know we were gonna run against a combo deck, you know. That is a little lucky, but we saw taking the flip lands, and opponent was using those flip lands more as spells as they were than they were actual spells, but still came in huge there. Joshua legit. Not sure of this player either. I think I knew who the first player was, but I'm also not sure if I want to say names. I assume they don't mind people knowing who they are, but I think this is a mulligan. We don't use the restorations that much as spells. They only sometimes like against a rogues deck. So this is just like a turn 3 Shark Typhoon, turn 4 Roast with a bunch of lands, and I don't like that too much. Though I guess maybe Toronto McKinty makes this a keep, because we can do this on turn 3. Actually, let's try that. Being able to do this on turn 3 is pretty nice. We have our mana. We have some good draws here as well. And these are options. Like maybe one of them just gets stuck on my hand but ends up being a divination later. That's absolutely fine. That's beyond fine. Ooh, Duress turn 1. Excellent. Get rid of Lofty Denial, I think. Now, this is counterable by this as well. That's pretty annoying. Opponent has 2 counter spells for my roosts there. You hate to see it. Another card may be worthy of countering. I can look at this rogue's build, though I'm not 100% sure about this 1-drop. I would have enjoyed another Chronicler there. Put a counter on this, let them know that they're free to play out some creatures if they want. I guess having all these 1-drops is just really good in their deck. So I really don't want the Roost countered, so I think Chronicler is also just good enough to counter with Drown. Because I get to counter it and play this, and then play like Cutthroat and have a fast clock on, but then I get to try and take over the game with my Roosts. Yeah. Okay, I don't mind either of them getting milled that much. 6. So this is going to be a big swing. But opponent's kind of out of cards. Oof, chunk of damage. That's not a bad one either. If they've drawn another counter spell here, they probably get me. But otherwise, we could be in some decent shape. Especially with another blocker in the form of Shark Tornado, possibly. Into the Royals, kind of perfect. Didn't flash in this. They're going to wait for me to block and then they can use it. Oh, I forgot that we were milling. So, yeah, I would have just kept that on top anyway. That doesn't make any big difference then. Definitely blocking. They're going to flash in this dude. And that is okay. Ooh, would have loved the Thirst. 2 Thirsts gone. Oh, no. I'm a thirsty boy. I could make double Jason a blocker. Or I could try and kill this with no blocker. And not take damage. I think I like the not taking damage route here. I think either way I'm pretty bad to an interaction spell. This is better against a counter spell though than the other one. The other line just straight up lost to a counter spell. Okay. Now I feel like, you know, I'm in, like the first time, I may be in a bit of trouble to losing to decking, but other than that, we should have this one under control. That's pretty funny. So one blocker, I'd only be taking 4, so this is probably just correct to do. I just want to zero these because scrying does nothing against them. Can do this first though, which I should have done last time. Don't really need another land. That is an excellent draw. Land maybe seals it for opponent there. That is not a great land draw from them. They flooded a little bit. I think if they had drawn a little bit better in this game, I'm in trouble. Yeah, we don't really care about Jace dying here. We will definitely just kill your creature. And we will definitely just kill your other 2 creatures. Okay, opponent needs to draw pretty well here to stay in this game. Probably another one of the black mythic land or something. But if I draw one more land, I'm going to draw like 3 cards. As much as I bad meted this card, it's looking pretty great here. Okay, that's nice. Don't think I play anything. Don't think I like an attack particularly though. Oh, we're just going to make a big shark to put in front of that. Get the block in. I think Chronicle should put away this game fairly fast here. Yeah. Probably don't even need to see Great Restoration after saying it looked so good. Gonna win all my creatures. I don't think I'm scared of anything in particular out of opponent here. Gonna play a second Roost of Drakes. Guess I could have just spent my duress that turn. Seeing what was up. Yeah. Jace has been pretty phenomenal so far. I think the key to Jace has been just not really caring when they die. Like casting him for 5 mana, and if he gets you 3 cards, he's been very good and probably fogged some damage as well. Another land from opponents. Pretty unfortunate. Even something like an Extinction Event or a Sweeper, I'm likely still winning the game here. Opponent decent enough to play it out. I like that for these events. Okay. I think that's all the games I'll play with this deck. This video is already going a little bit long because of the very long first game against Rogues. But we see that possibly a shell like this is better than blue-black rogues, which disappoints me. I very much like rogues, and I really like both of my opponent's decks. I think they drew a little unfortunately as well, but it's always going to look unfortunate when I have like chroniclers refueling me and I have this like engine going on. When they hit a dead end and my engine starts going is when I start to win the game. They win with early tempo and I win with this kind of grindy engine that is hard to stop with anything that isn't a Nugan. So that's been Blue Black. You must kick it. Thanks so much for watching. Stay tuned to the channel, like and subscribe if you want to see more of this. Hopefully this week I'll get a bunch of these videos out that I've done in the early access again, thanks to Wizards of the Coast. And I'll see you guys out there.